you're not here to answer shooting questions. You're here to troll your co-hosts and guests.
I'm not trolling anybody. Yeah, that's not true. I'm going to troll a lot of people. Anyway, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. My name is Ben. I'm here to answer shooting questions. Mr. Matt Hopkins is here, coming at you live.
Hi.
From Kansas City. Not Kansas City, Kansas. That's where shitheads live. Or Kansas City, Missouri.
That's right.
I've been there once before.
Was it nice?
It was. I went to the hotel in the convention center, and that's all I did.
What was at the
Those
convention
aren't nice,
center?
probably.
The fencing Junior Olympics in 1994.
Holy shit. Okay. And Mr. Gabe White coming at you from Portland.
Thanks for having me on, Ben.
Probably one of the top 3 hippie places in the country, right?
I would completely agree. I think you pretty much
Portland,
got
Seattle,
San Francisco, and Portland.
You guys are we're number 3. We're number 3 because it's got to be San Francisco's number 1 at this point.
I agree. I think it is in that order. I think it's San Francisco, then Seattle, then Portland.
All right.
But
we agree.
You probably have a whole podcast based on just that question.
Well, how many people are even in a position to speak with authority on the issue?
A lot.
You think
but
so?
They wouldn't be on this show.
No, they wouldn't, because this show, there's too white, it's too male. No, it's not good. Got too many fucking white dudes. So we can't talk about shit. All right, speaking of white people problems, we're going to get into it, guys. Holy shit, who is messaging me? Oh, no, it's Rob Ang is messaging me. I'm not interested right now. All right, let's get back to the show. So, we are going to talk about a post that somebody cross-linked up on duty, and I thought it would be sort of instructive to talk about it because I don't normally like to make shows out of match drama, but this shit is next level. Wouldn't you agree, Matt?
It's pretty crazy, actually. And, the amount of stuff he posted.
He's just putting it all out there.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't even really know the match or really understand the discipline that much because there's a lot of sort of precision rifle disciplines, and I think they're all a little bit different, aren't they? Matt, yes?
Yeah,
no?
It's almost worse than action pistol.
It's fucked. All right.
It's like 3-gun version of rifle shooting, honestly. Because, no match wants to have the same rules as someone else.
Of course.
And there's, no one big organization running everything to have a common rule set or nothing like that, so.
Yes. Okay. So, I'm going to put this thread in the show notes if people want to, click through and read it. But I think the match director for a big precision rifle match, he just laid it all out there. And he's got this massive post. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read part of it because it's amazing. And Gabe, I want to get your take on it. Matt, you've already read this guy's post in its entirety, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can make sure that I don't want to take it out of context. The context, I think, is the match director got some feedback after the match, and he wasn't happy by the feedback he got. Anyway.
Right. Good, because I haven't read any of it yet.
This is good. So, Gabe, make sure, ask any questions you've got. We'll make sure we clarify this.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
And then we can apply this to USPSA because I think that's important. Jacob recently held the brawl down at Rifles Only. He had 100-plus shooters and 26 range officers. After announcing the top 10 shooters, he spoke about the range officers to the group and let them choose from the prize table. I've seen amazing acts of generosity from Jacob to giving rifles he won away. I mean, the list is endless. Rewarding non-paying range officer with a trip to the prize table is the least we can do. They are not paid and it's still costing them money. Most of his range officers live beyond 4 hours away. They have to travel, time off work, etc. So here's what a group of anonymous shooters did after he rewards the range officers. So he then put this in quotes, and this is, I assume, an email from this group of anonymous people. I waited a couple weeks to send this to make sure the following wasn't spur of the moment. Everyone I've spoken with still feels the same way, so here goes. First off, I'd like to say thanks for hosting an awesome match. Lots of fun and challenging stages. I think that giving that scope away to the shooter that didn't have the best gear was extremely classy and generous. He'll never forget it. By the way, I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. I don't know if any of this is true, but I'm going to carry on with the email. He'll never forget it, and will likely keep that for the rest of his life. Myself and many others were very excited for him. It was also incredible that you hosted a challenge specifically to donate money to help a fellow shooter in the community as well. On top of that, when the amount raised didn't satisfy you, you created a raffle to raise even more money. Absolutely awesome. The ROs did a great job and were very professional and fair all the way around. The barbecue at the end of the match was a good touch as well and was greatly appreciated. So there's a couple paragraphs left in this letter. As you can tell, the guy is buttering them up with some compliments before he spins them around and fucks them in the butt with some complaints. Anyway, the one complaint, and everyone I spoke with also had this concern, was how you dealt with the prize table. I completely agree that the ROs deserve something for their time and hard work. I have been an RO several times at precision rifle matches and will continue to be whenever I'm not shooting them. ROs are a vital part of our sport, and it would not exist without them. And again, I completely agree they deserve to be rewarded, but not in the fashion they were. I was completely satisfied with what I walked away with, but it was a slap in the face of the shooters who paid $275 to get in the match, plus travel, plus hotel, plus bullets, plus brass, plus time, plus the sheer skill involved to finish high enough to get a good prize and have it taken away by someone who invested only time. Watching ROs walk away with $900 barrel certificates, $100 plus chassis, nice optics, etc. was wrong, and you could tell just by the way the ROs hesitated when they were told they could pick anything off the table, that they didn't think it was right either. Some of the more respectful ROs recognized that fact more than others and took smaller items, but a lot of great items were taken by ROs, and for someone to finish in the top 15 and pick up a prize, barely the value of their buy-in when the ROs are walking out with $1,000 items for only helping is incredibly insulting and sets a bad precedent. It will lead the ROs signing up to help just to try and benefit from it rather than doing it to help the sport. It also did and will leave a bad taste in shooters' mouths wherever it happens. Again, I can't speak on this for certain, but I also highly doubt that the companies donating prizes were donating them so that ROs could pick up many of the best ones without competing. The most common thing I've seen is one large item and several smaller items raffled off between the ROs, or there's just a prize table specifically for the ROs with items worth $100 to $300, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm not trying to bash the match, but myself and many others thought this was needed to be addressed, and I drew the short straw. Hope you have a good week. Okay, so that is the email that has been, I assume, quoted in its entirety that this guy's posted. Gabe, what's your take on the email so far?
Man, I don't even know what to think. This stuff is why I do not run matches or try to administrate something fairly.
All right, do you give a fuck about the issue raised? Be honest.
Not much.
Yeah, I give very few.
Little
fucks.
bit.
No, I don't really.
I get it. I get the point. The whole reason this is a question is the reason a lot of things are questions in life is because it is not a very simple answer that only points in one direction. It's not the completely right thing that ROs should just get all the best stuff off the prize table.
And it's also
but they sure do put in a lot to the sport, don't they? And our enjoyment. And somebody who drives there spends all this time, probably by the time it's all said and done, $1,200 in gas and hotels and time and entry fees and ammo and all this stuff. They also want to have a crack at the good stuff. I got it.
Right.
I don't know.
What I've seen at a lot of matches is they'll raffle off, like if they have 8 guns or something, they'll raffle off a couple just for the ROs or something like that. And
I've seen that too.
Yeah. Nobody bats an eyebrow at that. This is certainly different. I've never heard of something like this before, but
they did award the top 10. They awarded the top 10 to go to the table first, and then they let the ROs go, and then they started.
ROs?
Yeah. So they did the top 10, the 20 ROs, and then the 11th through finish.
Okay.
Went.
All right. So Matt, what's your take on this?
That's interesting.
It is.
It sounds like the guys 11 and back were kind of pissed off, and they put this together. They didn't get something they wanted.
Okay. So, Matt,
Look,
would you run a match this way, Matt?
It's not if I would, but if it was advertised ahead of time, there'd be no way anybody could complain about it.
Of course, yes. That best practice with a prize table is just tell people ahead of time what you're doing.
That's probably the only mistake that match director made, is not advertising that's how he would do it.
That's a great point. That's a really good point. That's probably the best point.
That's been kind of our point the whole time. Like if you just put it above board, like, hey, this is what it's going to be, and then do it that way, and whatever. Okay, so you don't have much of a reaction at this point to the guy's email. Pretty benign, I think. Right, Gabe?
I mean, that was the guy's total email there, pretty
basically.
much.
I mean, so far, really, this is free will versus determinism. This is communism versus capitalism. It's very simple. If you were to raffle off all the prizes at total random, that's communism. That's fine. Maybe you get something, maybe you don't, and what you did to get it has absolutely nothing to do with whether you got it or not. And at the other end, you would have the total capitalist merit-based system where you would, you got 80 prizes on the prize table. Well, top 80 people in the combined results get the prizes, and everybody else can suck it, right? I mean, and instead, there is some kind of a in-between point created, and in this case, if I'm hearing that right, you got top 10 via capitalism, then you got 20 ROs via communism, and then you got everybody else again via whatever half-breed system of class winners or seniors.
They might not see it that way. They might
juniors or whatever.
They might see top 10 to reward for capitalism, and that is also capitalism that we reward the other guys because we want to have a match in the future and we want to incentivize people helping. I get it.
Yeah. Good point. I guess it's like performance versus did work, which I'm sure they absolutely did. Right?
All right.
That's just barely the tip of
they weren't scored. They weren't scored for their ROing.
Gabe, we are nowhere yet. We're nowhere. Yeah. So this guy's this guy's response to this, I don't know who this guy is or what his connection to the match is, but it's awesome. All right, here's his response. You ready, Gabe?
Yes.
Bitch ass fucking cowards. They emailed this letter to Jacob this week. Yes, they actually put this in writing. Entitlement, plain and simple. These scumbags are not doing anything for this sport, but taking for themselves. It's about them and theirs. We can replace them in a heartbeat. And you know why they're not signing this? Because they know we'd put them on a blacklist and never allow them to shoot a match again. What do you think about that, Gabe?
Sounds like a real problem of free association.
It sounds entirely fucking reasonable response to that really benign email.
It sounds. You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like the person who wrote the response really felt like they had done a good, right, and nice thing for everybody, and then they got fucking fucked for it, and now they're pissed.
Yes. So when I read something like this, I'm thinking this person shouldn't be running stuff like this because you just gotta if you get criticism or some feedback that's that benign, and you can't sort of take it in stride or whatever, you probably just shouldn't be doing it. That's not bad. That's not a bad thing. You just you probably don't want to do this anymore because wow. Yeah. If your first reaction is to ban somebody voicing such a complaint from your match, and they were smart enough to know that that'd be what you want to do, so they send it anonymously, that might be a clue. You don't want to be doing this anymore. Hopkins, should I go on with this?
Yeah.
All right.
The next part's good.
The range officers didn't think it was wrong, you fucking shitheads. They never had anyone give them something to that degree before. Usually, it's a raffle or a few prizes. Here's a fucking clue. Not only do these guys get most of their shit paid for, in parentheses he put jersey shooters. What they take off the table, they sell. If you have Bushnell on your shirt and get a Vortex scope, do you think it's going to get used in the next match? Hell no. They sell it. And it actually pisses off the sponsors of the competition to see stuff posted online come Monday morning for sale. Is that true, Matt? Do you get pissed off when I saw whatever shitty CZ pistol I won at a match?
No.
You don't care. All right.
Yeah.
This letter spells it out better than I ever could. They dislike the guys that are shooting a match who are not PRS members, who are not top 25 shooters, and they dislike the fact they have to listen to a range officer. They don't think you know what you're doing. All they want is their buddy to RO because nobody else is up to their standard. They cause all sorts of drama on the line, saying their tiny 6mm hit the target at 1,250 yards in the wind and rain, and the RO calls a miss. They bully, they cheat, yes, cheat, and manipulate the system every chance they get. One guy lies, the other swears to it, and they go to the prize table, take stuff only to sell. Why do you think they created the alibi system? So they could figure out where they stand, hatch a plan to manipulate it, and change their score to get what they want or need. What do you reaction to that, Matt?
A lot of hearsay, and I mean,
he's talking crazy.
Yeah, he's getting fired up at this point.
Oh my God. Let me skip down to a more interesting part, because people can read this whole thing in their entirety when they want to. We need, as a group, to weed these guys out. I'm opting to reduce the prize table, and I will personally hand out prizes to the deserving few. The top 10 can take home a trophy. Ask your sponsor for a gift. Sponsors, you need to insist on a code of conduct for your shooters. They need to pay back your generosity by contributing in a positive way, not penning stupid fucking letters to match directors. Wow. Well, Gabe, what do you think?
I don't know what to think anymore. I think if they want to get themselves a good code of conduct, they should look at that one that IDPA had a while back.
They still got it, don't they?
They could just copy that wholesale.
They still have it, I think.
They ban you for a year for talking shit, I think.
Yeah.
Oh. That's funny.
Oh, by the way, Matt, I heard from a guy hooked into he was on a Tiger team for a while. Apparently, the IDPA guys get really annoyed when we talk shit on the podcast about IDPA.
Why do they listen to us?
Well, what I said was, why do they give it so much power then? Why do you give me that much power? You'd be that annoyed by it. I like the core concept of IDPA. The execution is terrible, and the sport's kind of a joke, and it's not competitively relevant. I'm just saying that because it's true. Anyway, kind of getting.
I wish we would have known this a while ago. I mean, we could have maybe influenced some decisions.
Right?
I know.
Look at all the good we've done for USPSA, right?
Yeah, we do have karaoke.
Gabe's laughing as he gets the joke.
That's great.
Yeah, you like that.
That's great.
I
do.
So anyway, the letter is interesting. I think this guy should not be a match director. And to be honest, I kind of I agree in a way that the prizes don't do good things for the sport. In that way, I don't. Having guys argue enough just over the ego part of it, wanting to do well at the match or whatever. I don't think the prize table is a positive thing. I mean, it doesn't net out to be a good thing. And I don't have any problem if we don't have prize tables at matches I go to. I'm totally fine with that. But I don't think it's going to make a lot of these guys stop being shitheads. I think they'll still be shitheads.
I think there are a couple of survival rules that you kind of have, especially for the internet, but more broadly with the written word, which is, one, you need to be able to laugh at yourself. If you have no sense of humor about something, then
this motherfucker has no sense of humor.
Whether the trolling is intentional or not, you will become trolled by your lack of sense of humor about something. Two, I really think it's important to not ascribe negativity to some message to you unless it is absolutely completely clear. I mean, when you're reading something, a lot of times there are different ways you can take it. And I really think that as a mechanism of emotional survival on the internet especially, but also with the written word, I really think that you got to ascribe a reasonably positive interpretation to it until somebody makes it really, really, really clear that they mean to piss you off or insult you. And then you can take some insult, get pissed off, whatever. But until they've made it really clear,
So you're saying some guys sending feedback about the match, and it's pretty clear what they wanted to get at, but they were doing it. I don't know how they could have done it in a more diplomatic way, honestly.
From the response, it sounds like it was fairly reasonably self-protective for them to not put their name on it. I guess. I mean, so they're going to blacklist them at the next match? Dang, that's
Just because.
Don't say anything's wrong with my match, or you're never going to shoot my match again. Ouch.
Yes. That mean, I don't know. People tend to live in a bubble where they think whatever they think they want to do is like that's the best way to do it or the only way to do it, and that's one of these guys. So USPSA match directors, please don't be this guy. This dude's fucking nuts. This dude's a lunatic. I'm glad we have rules against this sort of thing in USPSA. You cannot.
So one of the interesting things I took out of this like letter was they have a thing where you like can protest to someone else and then like get some kind of rule made, like to benefit you. He says it in PRS, I guess.
Yes.
I'm trying to read it exactly how it says. Oh, when he called them cheaters and stuff. Where's that at? The manipulate the system.
Yeah, there's nothing.
The alibi system. The alibi system. I wonder what that is.
It's where you get a do-over? I don't know.
No, like I guess if maybe one guy sees a hit and swears to it, that counts or something. So like you don't even actually have to hit the
target. You're kind of asking.
Do they include with that you cannot squad with anyone who you know?
Oh no. Teammates can only squad together on this thing.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. I'm gonna look that up actually.
Yeah, it really makes me wonder. That's kind of an oddball mechanic for conflict resolution.
Hey, Gabe, here's the best part. The initial response is this guy must be running a hug box on this forum because the initial response was, well put. Thanks, Frank. Then the next guy said, that's my Frank. LOL. Next guy said, fucking A. Next guy said, I second that. Fucking A. Like
the guy like owns or runs a forum or something that this was posted on.
Yes, this guy's
the guy that was pissed off.
There's a difference.
And he got like 4 minions to come and support him.
No, he's got a shit ton of them. It looks like
there's a difference between running a forum and running a hug box. You know what I mean?
Hug box is that's a new term for me.
Yeah, wiki that. The point is
it on Urban Dictionary?
I'm sure it is. The point is there's nobody fucking with this guy. Like,
I know what a hug is. I know what a box is.
There you go. Like, if I posted something like this, I would get fucking lit up so hard. let me just say that I would get fucked with bad, and I would deserve.
Duty is really funny. I can't believe we're talking about a duty thread on the show here. That's great.
Why?
I don't know. It seems like we usually don't.
The guy that's all pissed off later on says, these dumb fucks are now saying I wrote the letter just to bring attention to this site. So he's like, the guys that wrote the initial letter anonymously are throwing shit at the guy that did the forum post and saying that he made the letter up.
Well, I don't know. What draws attention to the site is him being a fucking lunatic. Like, that's the interesting part. Like, I don't even notice this is just relevant for us because we're in competitive shooting, and I think we have a lot of match directors that would act this way if they could get away with it. But I like that this behavior is unacceptable in USPSA. I really do, and it ought to be unacceptable. Like, we should just not put up with it as a group, and just be like, no, you're acting like a fucking moron, so you need to shut the fuck up.
Dude, you realize you know how small our sport is, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. PRS only had 178 like registered shooters, I guess, last year. So like their sport is super small. So I don't know how these guys don't like exactly know who each other are.
Well,
it's kind of weird.
See, I think it is. I think they do know who each other are.
Oh, and they're just trying to be anonymous, like they don't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All
right. Let's move on to the next. Anyway, listener people, if you'd like to read that full post, and you can read the thread after it. It's just basically, we don't want to be this. You know, this is not the direction we want to move in. This sort of shit is bad. Just so we're clear. I mean, yes, I want to look at it and laugh, but we don't want to go that direction. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. When major matches release stage plans, how much do you study them? Did you imagine what they'd look like for visualization? Do you watch previous match videos to get a sense of scale? Matt, you hate that, don't you?
Yeah, we've went over this a couple times before, maybe.
Yes, we have. We absolutely have.
I bet you have.
It's stupid. Don't do it.
The only thing I could say is if you've never been to a range before, maybe find some video of that specific range to see like what the ground will be like if you're going to be on gravel or you're going to be on grass, or they put shit on props where you're going to fall down if you have fucking cleats on, if it gets a little water on it, something like that. That'd be the only thing I would watch video on about a match for.
Yeah, there's really not a lot you can glean, really, until you're there.
Well, you can know what shoes to bring if you have to, like, fly somewhere. That'd be the only thing.
Yes. Gabe, you think that's a dumb question, don't you?
I think I'm exactly adolescent enough in USPSA to speak to this. The first major match I went to, they had published the stage plans. I printed them all out. I drew pictures on them, drew lines of I made complete, total stage plans on the diagram itself. And that was pretty pointless because once I got to the match, like you've said many times, it wasn't really exactly the way it looks. I mean, not only do you have structural changes to stages, wall deleted here, wall added there, target deleted here, target added there, not only that stuff, but it just the scale it just doesn't look right. You make decisions based on target difficulty all the time in stage planning, and target difficulty is not real clear in those diagrams. I mean, distant. There was. I remember very distinctly. There was one stage from that first major match where I planned the stages off the diagrams that I thought I was going to do it a certain way because of how the stage looked and how difficult the targets looked. And then I get there and it felt like everything was 5 yards away, and it wasn't really 5 yards away, but it was a lot closer than it looked in the diagram, and that completely changed the way I needed to shoot it. And if you're also as poorly developed as I am with stage planning, then one of the things that also happens to you is as soon as you get or maybe not everybody else, but it does to me, once you get a stage plan in your head, it is really hard to lose that stage plan and go to a better stage plan when that becomes apparent, and have your mind open to a better stage plan. I could not count the number of times that I've gone to a stage, looked at it, figured out what I truly believed was the best way right then, got a plan pretty burned in. Then once the squad that I'm on gets to that stage and I see how other people are doing it, I immediately change my plan because I can see other people doing it an obviously better way that I don't know why I didn't notice it in the first place, but I didn't.
Well, I can tell you guys one story. This should summarize my thoughts on this. My first major match was not a USPSA match. It was not a PRS match. It was actually an IDPA match. So I remember sitting in the clubhouse for my very first, state match. It's a big deal. I'd been shooting for 3 months at this point, and I remember walking by a guy who's got the match book, and he's going through there, marking off. I was looked at him, and I realized he's marking off where his reloads are going to be on the stage. Just looking at the diagram and drawing a little, making notations. Okay, this is where his reloads are. And you know what I thought? I thought, this guy's a fucking dipshit.
Are you calling me a dipshit?
I'm just telling you what I thought. That's just what that just popped in my head. And that was me never having been to a major match before, being 21 years old.
You got a lot better excuse than I do.
That was just that strikes me as just self-evidently dumb. Because you haven't seen the stage, and it never looks anything like that. Or, oftentimes it's different.
Yeah.
I don't want that shit in my brain. So yes, there's not a lot we can plan. Well, man, that was a showstopper right there, wasn't it, Hopkins?
Yeah, I'm just trying to read up about this alibi thing. It looks like it's just a verification time, and I guess some people have been known to cheat it somehow.
Hey, Ben, let me ask you a question about stage planning.
Yeah, hit me.
So once you've ignored the diagram,
Mm-hmm.
gone to the actual match where you can see the real stages.
Yes, sir.
In the ideal world, how long would you take do you think you would take to plan the stages? In scouting them, say the day before or something. Like, say you got to major match, you suppose you had, which you don't, but a lot of times, but suppose that you had like all day to walk the range if you wanted. How long do you think it would take? How long do you spend on that? I realize that varies by skill level, but what's it take for you?
It varies a lot by stage as well. I try to spend. I mean, this will sound weird, but I try to spend as little time as I can on the stages. I want to get a sense of the geography, how the stage lays out, and get a sense for how I want to do it. And I got to kind of understand what I think the options are, and then I kind of get off the stage right away. So what do we spend on average, Hopkins? Maybe 5 minutes a stage, just walking around looking?
Yeah, I mean, I want to spend like less than 2 hours on the range.
Yeah, we don't like spending a lot of time. So it'd be like 5 minutes.
Time on your feet and exposure and all that stuff that you don't want to get all tired out before
that. And you don't want to get so down the rabbit hole on the stage that you have it in your brain how you're going to do it, and then you lose the ability to recognize when somebody has an obviously better plan.
So you're pretty much keeping it open until your squad gets to the stage and you start the 5 minute walkthrough or the kind of
no. I mean, I'm like, okay, I'm looking at doing it like this. I know where everything is, but I don't want to feel that strongly about it. Like, oh, this is the shit. If the stage is hard to figure out, or if it's a memory stage, it can take longer. I've taken as much as half an hour to figure out a stage. If it's a memory stage, I don't like those stages.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I was curious. Thanks.
Yes.
I don't really have anything else to add.
Nope.
I think most of my friends are smarter than I am, and they are kind of the same school of let's not stand around and waste our energy and get all tired out and stuff and overanalyze the stage. And that's what I tend to do. And I gotta get myself away from that a little bit, I think.
Well, once you truly believe that it comes down to execution, then you know that there's really not much you're going to gain looking at the stage anyway. That's like
that's a good point. Yeah.
All right. Well, listeners, if you have a question you want the answer to, or you want to shit on PRS just as a discipline, which I don't even know anything about this. It's awesome. Oh, my God. Anyway, yeah, Sniper's Hide, what a fantastic forum. I should make an account there just to start commenting, but I'm not going to.
Do they know you in the rifle world? Are they like wide open to you trolling them?
I don't know. They're not. They're probably more closed off than we are.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even really be trolling the guy. I'd just be like, dude, it sounds like you need to take a break from this whole match director thing.
Yeah, that'd be trolling him. If you went and posted that, dude, come on.
That's trolling?
Exactly. The best troll is honesty. That trolls.
Yeah.
Is that really trolling?
It would be considered that, yeah.
Oh, I got you. You know.
What? Did I know what? Gabe, when have I ever trolled? That's not true. I've trolled people a lot. But it's that would just be like fucking around a little bit. And I think, to be honest, I think for his own happiness, he probably shouldn't be a match director. Like, when you get that wrapped up in it, it's time to step back. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, yes, go to benstoeger.com, send us your questions. We'll talk about why we shouldn't make plans about stages too hard. Gabe will shit all over you. That's awesome. Great show, guys. Really enjoyed it.